The question hung in the air like a prayer waiting to be answered. Lisa Park stood at the Family Feud podium, her hands trembling as she gripped the microphone. The studio lights felt too bright, too exposing for someone who had spent her entire life wondering about the woman who gave her away. "Who do you want to find?" Steve Harvey had asked, and those 5 simple words unlocked a vault of pain that Lisa had been carrying for 29 years. She looked out at the audience, knowing that somewhere in this world was the woman who had held her for 9 months, but never got to hold her in her arms. The silence stretched on as Lisa struggled to find her voice. It was Tuesday afternoon at the Family Feud studios in Atlanta. The Park family had driven 12 hours from Nashville, Tennessee in their old minivan. Lisa's adoptive parents, David and Susan Park, watched nervously from the family podium, knowing this moment might change everything for their daughter. The game had started normally enough. The Park family was competing against the Rodriguez family from Arizona. Steve was in his element, working the crowd with his signature humor and warmth. But when the question about finding someone was asked, the energy in the studio shifted completely. Lisa had been adopted as a newborn in Her adoptive parents had been wonderful, loving, everything a child could want. But there had always been a hole in her heart, a missing piece that no amount of love could fill. "My birth mother," Lisa finally whispered into the microphone. The words came out barely audible, but they carried the weight of a lifetime of wondering. Steve's expression immediately softened as he recognized the depth of pain in those 3 words. The camera caught every emotion crossing Lisa's face. This wasn't just a game show answer anymore. This was a daughter's desperate plea to find the woman who had given her life, but couldn't give her a home. "Tell me about that," Steve said gently, abandoning any pretense of continuing the game. He stepped closer to Lisa, his full attention focused on this young woman, who was clearly carrying a burden too heavy for her shoulders. The studio fell silent as everyone waited for her story. "I was born in Atlanta," Lisa said, her voice growing stronger. "Georgia Baptist Hospital, on March 15, 1994. She was 17, unmarried, and couldn't keep me." Her hands moved instinctively to her heart as she spoke. "I've searched for years," Lisa continued. "I hired private investigators, joined every adoption registry, posted on every website, but there's no trace of her anywhere." The frustration and heartbreak in her voice was palpable. Steve Harvey made a decision that would change television history. He set down his cards and walked directly to Lisa, his presence offering comfort and strength. The cameras kept rolling, but this was no longer entertainment. This was about healing a broken heart. "What would you say to her if she was here right now?" Steve asked softly. Lisa's eyes filled with tears as she thought about the question she'd rehearsed 1,000 times in her mind. The studio waited with bated breath for her answer. "I tell her I understand," Lisa said, her voice breaking. "I understand why she couldn't keep me. I tell her I had a beautiful life, that David and Susan loved me like their own." She paused, wiping away tears with the back of her hand. "But mostly," Lisa continued, "I tell her I forgive her, and I want her to forgive herself. I just want to look into her eyes and see where I came from." The raw honesty of her words hit everyone in the studio like a physical force. Behind the scenes, something extraordinary was happening. The production team was frantically working phones, making calls that went far beyond normal television protocol. But what they didn't know was that a miracle was already sitting in their audience. In row 7, seat 12, a woman named Maria Santos sat with tears streaming down her face. She had come to the taping with her sister, hoping for a fun afternoon. Instead, she was hearing details about a birth that had haunted her for 29 years. Maria Santos had been 17 when she gave birth at Georgia Baptist Hospital. She had held her baby girl for exactly 3 minutes before the adoption workers took her away. She had never forgotten the date, March 15th. "Lisa," Steve said, his voice carrying the weight of something profound about to happen. "I need you to listen to me very carefully. Sometimes God works in mysterious ways." He turned to scan the audience, his eyes searching for something the cameras couldn't see. Sometimes, Steve continued, the thing you're looking for is closer than you think. Sometimes miracles happen when you least expect them. The studio fell completely silent as everyone sensed something incredible was about to unfold. Steve walked to the edge of the stage and looked directly into the audience. Maria Santos, he called out, his voice echoing through the studio. Would you please stand up? The cameras swung toward the audience as a woman in row 7 slowly rose to her feet. Lisa's legs nearly gave out. The woman standing in the audience had the same dark hair, the same brown eyes, the same delicate features that Lisa saw in the mirror every day. The resemblance was unmistakable, undeniable, miraculous. Lisa, Steve said, his own voice thick with emotion, I'd like you to meet your birth mother. The studio erupted in gasps and sobs as the impossible became reality. 29 years of searching had led to this moment, this stage, this miracle. Maria began moving toward the stage, her sister helping her navigate the row of seats. With every step, the years seemed to fall away, and she was 17 again, holding her baby for those precious 3 minutes. Lisa stood frozen at the podium, unable to believe what was happening. How? Lisa whispered as Maria reached the stage. How are you here? The question seemed to echo the thoughts of everyone watching this unprecedented moment unfold. Steve helped Maria onto the stage, creating a space for this reunion that was 29 years in the making. I come to Family Feud tapings whenever I can, Maria said, her voice shaking. I always hoped maybe someday, but I never thought. She couldn't finish the sentence as she looked at the woman her baby had become. Steve stepped back, giving them space while staying close enough to offer support. The cameras captured every second of this moment, but everyone in the studio understood they were witnessing something sacred. This wasn't television anymore, this was a prayer being answered in real time. You're so beautiful, Maria whispered, reaching out tentatively to touch Lisa's face. I dreamed about what you would look like, but you're even more beautiful than I imagined. Lisa leaned into the touch, finally feeling the hands that had first held her. I've been looking for you my whole life, Lisa said through tears. I hired investigators. I searched everywhere. I never thought you'd be sitting right here. The irony wasn't lost on anyone. Lisa had traveled to Atlanta looking for money, but found something infinitely more valuable. Maria reached into her purse and pulled out a small, worn photograph. It was a picture of Lisa as a newborn, taken during those 3 minutes they had together. I've carried this with me every day for 29 years, Maria said. I never stopped hoping I'd find you. Lisa stared at the photo, the only picture of her that existed from her first day of life. You kept this? She asked, her voice full of wonder. Maria nodded, fresh tears streaming down her face. I've never forgiven myself for giving you away, Maria said. I was just a child myself, scared and alone. I thought I was doing what was best for you. The pain in her voice was 29 years deep. You were, Lisa said firmly, taking her birth mother's hands. You gave me to the most amazing parents. They loved me, raised me, made me who I am today. She turned toward David and Susan Park, who were watching from the family podium with tears in their eyes. Steve called the Park family to join them on stage. What followed was perhaps the most beautiful moment in television history. 2 sets of parents meeting, united in their love for the same child. There was no competition, no jealousy, only gratitude. Thank you, Maria said to David and Susan. Thank you for giving her the life I couldn't. Susan Park immediately embraced Maria, 2 mothers sharing a bond that transcended biology. The studio watched in awe as walls came down and families expanded. We've always wanted to thank you, David Park said to Maria. You gave us the greatest gift possible. You made us parents. The conversation between them was filled with mutual respect and overwhelming gratitude. Behind the scenes, the production team had abandoned any thought of continuing the game. This moment was bigger than television, bigger than ratings, bigger than anything they had ever captured on film. They just kept the cameras rolling and let the miracle unfold. Maria had brought a letter with her to the taping, a letter she had written to Lisa every year on her birthday, but never sent. 29 letters, each one filled with love, regret, hope and dreams, for the daughter she had never stopped thinking about. "I wrote you a letter every birthday," Maria said, pulling out a bundle of envelopes. "I never knew where to send them, but I needed to tell you how much I loved you." Lisa's hands shook as she held 29 years of a mother's love. Steve watched this reunion with tears in his eyes. In 40 years of television, he had never witnessed anything like this. The game show host had become a facilitator of miracles, a witness to the impossible becoming possible. "Lisa," Steve said softly, "do you want to know something incredible? Your birth mother has been coming to Family Feud tapings for 3 years, hoping to find you. You've been searching the internet, and she's been searching audiences." The cosmic nature of their reunion wasn't lost on anyone. 3 years? Lisa asked, looking at Maria with wonder. "You've been coming here for 3 years?" Maria nodded, unable to speak through her tears. She had followed a feeling, a hope, a mother's intuition that had finally led her home. The Rodriguez family, who had been their competitors just minutes ago, abandoned their podium to join the celebration. What had started as a game between two families had become a testament to the power of hope, persistence, and divine timing. As word spread through the studio about what was happening, crew members stopped working to watch. Camera operators wiped tears from their eyes while continuing to film. Producers who usually worried about schedules and ratings found themselves completely absorbed in this real-life miracle. Maria told Lisa about the life she'd built after the adoption. She had gone to college, become a teacher, married a good man, and had 2 more children, Lisa's half-siblings, but she had never stopped thinking about her first daughter, never stopped hoping for this day. "You have a brother and a sister," Maria said. "Miguel is 25, and Carmen is 22. They've known about you their whole lives, and they've been hoping to meet you." Lisa's family had just expanded in ways she never imagined possible. Steve made arrangements for Lisa to meet her siblings, who lived just 2 hours away in Birmingham. The reunion that had started on a game show stage was going to continue in the real world, building bridges between families that had been separated by time and circumstance. The letters Maria had written told the story of a young woman who had grown up carrying the weight of her decision. Each letter revealed more about the person Lisa had come from, filling in blanks that had existed her entire life. Reading them would be a journey through 29 years of a mother's love. 6 months after the taping, Lisa and Maria had built a beautiful relationship. They talked every day, visited regularly, and had created new traditions together. The hole in Lisa's heart had been filled, and Maria had found peace for the first time in decades. The adoption reunion episode became the most watched Family Feud episode in history. Not because of the game, but because people witnessed the power of never giving up hope. Adoption agencies reported a surge in reunification requests, inspired by Lisa and Maria's story. Steve Harvey said in interviews that the reunion changed his understanding of fate and divine timing. "Sometimes the universe has a plan bigger than anything we can imagine," he reflected. Lisa and Maria found each other because they never stopped believing in the impossible. The Park family embraced Maria and her children completely, creating an extended family that spanned states and generations. Lisa's wedding 2 years later was attended by both sets of parents, her birth siblings, and the adoptive family that had raised her with such love. Today, Lisa works as an adoption counselor, helping other families navigate the complex emotions of separation and reunion. Her story has given hope to thousands of birth parents and adoptees who thought their searching was futile. She carries both sets of family photos in her wallet. Maria still attends Family Feud tapings occasionally, not searching anymore but celebrating. She brings her grandchildren, Lisa's children, to show them where their family story took an incredible turn. The studio has become a sacred place for their family, the site of their miracle, The letters Maria wrote continue to arrive every year on Lisa's birthday, but now they're delivered in person. Each one documents their growing relationship and the healing that comes from finding what was lost. Love, it turns out, really does find a way, because some searches end not with finding what you're looking for, but with discovering it was searching for you too. Lisa Park wanted to find her birth mother, and Maria Santos wanted to be found. Their reunion proved that sometimes the greatest gifts come disguised as ordinary moments, waiting for divine timing to reveal their magic. The miracle that happened on that Tuesday afternoon in Atlanta reminds us that hope is never wasted, love never truly disappears, and sometimes the thing you've been looking for your whole life is sitting 7 rows away, hoping for the same miracle you are. That's not just television, that's proof that some stories are too beautiful to be anything but true.